Welcome to I Kinniardly Move stretch class. Just like all of our other workouts, if you're already on our list for our live classes, those are going to be longer. We're going to have a little more focus, be targeting different areas, different times. But this is a nice stretch class, full body, where we're just trying to get things in a shorter time period than we would do in our live classes. Making sure that the things you'll need is either a loop band or a towel. If you're using a stretchy band, make sure it's a really firm one, and making sure that you have a chair nearby. And now we'll just go ahead and get started. Making sure first of all that we don't have any shoes on. We want to make sure the bones in our feet can move and we can stretch all the way to the muscles that would be in our feet. We're going to go ahead and start with the warm-up. We want to make sure that these muscles that we're working on will be moving. We've got blood flow. We're making sure that the muscles are nice and warm, so we go to stretch them. The muscles are more pliable, and we make sure that we're working in a safe manner. Now take this walk, and now we're going to do jack legs. And now we're going to move to arrow arms. Now these arrow arms that we're doing, we're not just coming straight to the back, we're pulling them back further to really get the upper body warmed up. So often when we're at work, when we're doing all kinds of things, our arms are suspended. We're having to hold them in the same position. Think about driving. This is really bad for our upper body. So making sure we're squeezing them back and releasing will help a lot with blood flow, with muscle knots, and prepare the body to stretch. Now taking this into a squat. As we squat down, moving our arms up, making sure that we have good form even while we're doing this just to warm up. Our knees are tracking over our feet. Our knees are not coming in as we go down. They're staying over our feet. The glutes are going out. The back is keeping its natural curves. We're not letting it bow out. We're keeping a healthy posture. All right, we're nice and warmed up now. We're going to start by doing a posture check. So looking down at your feet. If your feet are turned open or turned in, we want to point those toes forward. The only time that your feet would be opened in a natural way is if you did extreme sports as a child, and the joints do sometimes form a little bit differently in times like that. But for over 90% of us, we want to make sure those feet are forward. Now the next thing up is we're going to move up the chain. Remember, our foundation of our feet is really important. Next we're going to hips. Slightly engage the glutes. So what this is going to do is it's going to tuck the tailbone under just slightly so that the posture, the positioning of the rest of the spine is good. Next up, we're going to the shoulders. So often we're working on our devices. This is really bad for us. Now as you relax the arms, see where your arms lay, just relaxing ways. If your thumbs are on your thighs, know that right there, your shoulders are rotating forward. We want our shoulders, our hands to be out to here. When I first started doing these classes, my top thumbs were all the way right here. Now, they point forward. So I'm making progress. Still have room to grow. Taking those shoulders, how we do this is you just gently depress and roll the shoulders back. Now we're not overextending them. We're just bringing them back. Now we're to our head. So often our head, we're down looking at computers, our phone, our tablet, a book. We want to bring that head up so that our head is on top of shoulders, shoulders on top of hips, hips on top of knees, knees on top of toes. Keeping in mind this posture throughout our day is going to make it so that we're safe and that we don't get injured and we're in less pain. So just keep this in mind throughout the rest of your day, and we're going to be doing a lot of this even while we're doing our workout. Now we're going to get a ball. My favorite is a large kid's bouncy ball, and this is really amazing for our feet. You could use this to work on your shoulders, your back, anything else. At some point I will have a video on that, but right now we're going to work on the feet. Again, when we stretch, we're going from the foundation up, and our feet are often really tight. There's so many things that can really hurt us with our shoes and the things that we do. Taking our foot, putting it underneath the joints where the toes attach to the foot, and just slightly push. We're spreading those joints across our shoes. Keep our feet confined so much. Last time down. Taking that ball, rolling it just under the joint for the big toe on the foot, right where the arch starts. We're gonna push, 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 roll to the middle, push, 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 roll to the outside. My heel on this foot is making contact with the ground, but my weight is not in the foot. Roll the ball back to the arch, slightly lower than where you were before. Push 3 times and we'll roll center. Now I just have my heel down for balance. Roll to the center. Push, push, push. Roll to the outside. Push, push, push. Roll the ball back to the arch. Again, slightly lower than where we were. About a ½ inch to an inch, even closer to the heel than we were last time. Pushing 3 times. Now in the middle. Using as much pressure as I feel that I need. So keeping that in mind. Now it depends on what ball you're using. Rolling it back. Now I'm making contact with my toe for balance. Still in that arch. If I was using a golf ball, I wouldn't be pushing as hard as this. If I was using a tennis ball, I would push harder than I am now. So just judging by how it feels, what you're doing, and how it's going. Now I'm taking my toes. My toes are making contact. My weight is not in my toes and my working foot. The ball is right in front of my heel. I'm pushing down with a little bit of force, and now I'm going to wiggle back and forth. This is where the plantar fascia is the most dense, so this could be the most painful for you. As you are working with your feet and with your muscles, there's a lot of different conditions you may find that you may even have the beginnings of, and that's great because you're finding out what you can do to make sure that this doesn't affect you at another time. Taking that ball, let's move to the other side. Again, starting with those joints where the toes attach to the foot, and just gently push, spreading out those joints. We're going to do it 2 more times for 5 times total. And taking that ball, putting it just below the joint for the big toe where it attaches the foot, right at the beginning of the arch. We're going to push 3 times. Roll center foot, push, push, push. Again, there is no weight in my heel. Now roll to the outside of the foot for 3 times. Roll back to the arch, slightly lower than where we were last time, for 3 times. If you need to hold on to a surface while we're doing this for your balance, feel free. Move to the center. And outer. Back to the arch, slightly lower than where we were last time for 3. Center for 3. Outside. Back to the center for 3. Middle. Outside. You notice I should shifted from my heel to my toe. Again, my weight's not in this toe. I'm using it for balance. I've got the ball right in front of my heel, not under my heel, but right in front. I'm going to now push down with a considerable amount of force for me and for the type of ball that I'm using, and I'm going to wiggle it back and forth. Again, this is where the plantar fascia is the most dense. If you have plantar fascia, rolling your foot on a ball is going to be one of the best things you can do to help loosen and break that fascia back up so that it helps you to move better and to heal. I'm going to take this ball, we're going to remove this from our stepping area because we do not want to fall on this later. Taking safety precautions in the very beginning is going to be great. We're going to hold on to our chair now, stretching our calves, face the chair, take that front leg, I'm going to step in close to the chair, take that front leg, putting it back, that rear leg now, I'm going to pulse towards the chair for 5. Now we have 2 more. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to pull in and hold. Now while I'm doing this, even when I'm pulsing, I'm making sure that that rear foot is down on the ground. Both my toes are facing forward. If your toe is facing out to the side, that means your calf is tight and you are not getting you're not getting a stretch. If your heel is up, you're not getting a stretch. Heel down, lean forward. Really stretch that calf. If you're doing this, you may as well get everything out of it you can. We're going to hold for 5 more seconds. Now take your foot, point it back. The top of the foot is going to lay down on the ground, and then you're going to just feel where it feels best for you. So the lower you go, the less the stretch. The higher you go, the more you're going to be stretching the front of your calf. Once you get that positioning, hold for 10 seconds. It's very important to keep the calf stretched out, as the tightness in the calf can actually lead to tightness in the low back. Stand up. The leg that we're stretching, go ahead and pull your foot up. If you cannot pull your foot up by yourself, don't worry. Either take a towel and wrap it around your foot. One of my favorite things ever is a stretch loop band. These things are the bomb diggity. Wrap your foot around there and then pull your foot up. So even if you can't reach it, I guarantee you, if you keep working with your stretching, you will get to the point where you can reach your foot and pull it up. As we're stretching this quadricep, if you want to get a deeper stretch, take your sacrum, curl it under, and feel those muscles lengthen even more. Hold for 5 more seconds. Release the leg. When you're stretching, you always want to stretch for at least 10 seconds. Any less, you're not going to get a good stretch in. Ideally, you would want to do 30 to 60 seconds. If we did this on this video, it would be a really long video. If there's a stretch you particularly like or you think is really good, pause the video, hold the stretch for a full 30 to 60 seconds. We're now moving in, so we've gotten the calf stretch, the quadricep stretch. We're now going to get the adductor stretch, the inside of the leg. So take a wide stance, and then we're going to lean towards the leg that we're not stretching. As you do this, you will feel a nice stretch in the inner thigh, making sure your chest is up and your back is flat. If you want to get a deeper stretch, simply take your chair, take your foot, place it on the seat of the chair, and then squat down in your standing leg, keeping your chest up and your back flat. This will give you an even deeper stretch in your adductors. And then hold for 10 once you find a position that works for you. Again, if you want to, you can pause the video for 30 to 60 seconds to really get this stretch to its full. Keeping your tummy in while we're doing these to help support your back. Not forgetting to let your chest go down. Keep your chest up. Slowly come up. We're going to move to the hamstrings now. So if you need to, you're going to take your front leg, the leg that we're stretching, put it in front, And then with a flat back, bend down towards the leg, stretching out the hamstring. Taking the toes and pointing them up. Making sure that your back is not rounded. The moment you round your back, you're taking that stretch away. If you want to get a deeper stretch, simply stand up, put your foot on the chair, and sit down. Have a seat. Toes up and back flat. Slowly stand up here in the next couple seconds, and then we're going to get a nice glute stretch in. I'm going to show you this in two different directions. We're going to do a figure 4 stretch. This is really good for the glutes. So you can take your leg, cross the leg that we're stretching over top of your knee, and sit back. This is what it looks like from the front. I'll show you from the side. Take the leg that we're stretching, cross the knee, glutes out, back flat. The moment you round your back, that's when you lose the stretch. Keep that back flat, glutes out. The more you lean over, the deeper that stretch. If you would like to make that stretch even deeper, take that hand and gently push down on your knee. If you're worried about your balance, making sure you're holding on to a chair or another piece of furniture nearby. Once we move out of this stretch here in the next couple seconds, we're going to get the leg stretched on the opposite side. Slowly stand up, let your leg go down. Moving the chair off to the side so we can now stretch our other calf. Real quick, just take a moment. Notice how much better your right leg feels than your left. Like, there's a little squat. You can notice a difference already. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, face your chair. The leg that we haven't stretched yet, bring that back, remembering to put your heel all the way down on the ground. Take your front leg, bend it, and we're pulsing and moving forward for 5 total. So we have 2 more left. Now we're going to take that leg, push it forward, making sure that we're keeping our heel down on the ground. So we're getting that nice stretch in the heel, making sure that both toes are pointed forward. If your back foot is open, and it's open toward in that direction, that means your calf is tight and you are not going to be getting a stretch when you do this. If you can't come all the way forward, come as forward as you can with keeping your heel down. Remembering every single time you do this, it's going to get better. All right, now go ahead and stand up, bring that leg, point that toe, let the top of the foot rest on the ground, squat down with your other leg, and then bring it up to where you feel a good stretch on the front of your calf. Remember, holding every stretch for 10 seconds minimum for whatever part of your body you are stretching. We want to make sure we're getting the most out of our stretches. Slowly stand up from that. Take that leg, hold your foot, bring it in, remembering if you needed to use a towel or a band to help assist you, that's absolutely fine. Every single time will get better. Now as we're holding this, remembering take your sacrum, curl it slightly under to get an even better stretch for your quadricep. I'm going to hold her 5 more seconds. Slowly lower that leg. Now we're going to go to adductors. Remembering I'm going to move this to the other side so I have this for here. Remembering that if you need to start on the ground, like here, this is absolutely fine. And if you need to, or if you have the availability, if your knees, your hips are good enough, go ahead and put your foot on the chair, squatting down with the leg that we're not stretching, keeping your back flat. So whether your foot is on the ground or on a chair, we want to make sure that our backs are flat. I'll show you from this direction. Our backs are flat, our chest is up, so we're getting a stretch in our adductors. And don't hop around like I am. Hold this for 5 more seconds, and then we're going to do our hamstrings. Slowly come up, take the leg, remembering we need to go from the floor. The leg we're stretching is going out front. We're going to lean forward, so we're putting our glutes out, back flat, lengthening the leg we are stretching, so we're stretching underneath, we're stretching the hamstrings, moving that toe up. Now, we're going to go to the chair for those of you that have the knees and the hips that permit you to. Take your foot, bring it up on the chair, lean forward with a flat back. If you round that back, you're not going to get a stretch. Bring those toes up, squat down lower for a deeper stretch, and hold. Remembering a minimum of 10 seconds. Pause if you want to hold the stretch for longer. Slowly come up, going into our figure 4 stretch. Take the leg that we're stretching, put it across the knee, squat back. Again, let me show you what this looks like from the side. Cross the knee, squat back, glutes go back, back is neutral, and then if you would like to take this and make this a deeper stretch, put your hand on top of the knee and push it down, and even squat deeper, making sure your chest is up, back is flat, tummy is in. Amazing stretch for the hips. Really love this one. We slowly come up in the next 2 seconds, and as we come up, I'm going to move the chair aside and I'm going to grab my band. Now for this stretch, if you have a bulging or herniated disc, only go to the side, don't come forward with us. We're going to be, normally we'll always have you have a flat back. It's very rare, very, very rarely I will tell you to not have a flat back. So again, I'm using my loop band. I love, 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 love my stretch loop band. A towel works just as fine. You're gonna take, and a firm stretch band. Take this, hold it tight, pull away from it. So we're really keeping a hard, really tight line here. We're going to be going up into a Y with our arms. We're pulling against this, and now we're going to lean to the side. Now as we lean to the side, I'm still pulling the band away, and this top arm really reaching. And we're going to go over to the side, and I'm going to show you from this angle. We're going to go slightly forward, really pulling that top arm. If you have a bulging or herniated disc, do not go any further than this. Go back up. The rest of you come with me forward. Feeling a nice stretch, cross body, going to the other side, pulling that band apart. Top arm is really reaching out forward. Top, let my arms hang, roll my shoulders, back up, holding it tight, top arm stretching as far as it can, over to the other side.
Down forward, slightly in front. Really feel that nice stretch all the way around.
Oh, love this one so much. Keeping that band with you. The next one we're going to do is I'm going to put my foot through the loop. If you have a towel or a firm stretch band, a heavy weighted stretch band, go ahead and step on it with your foot and then hold up with your arm. Now, when I hold this, I'm going to be pulling with a significant amount of force. So I'm pulling my arm down. I have this choked up right here, so you can see even the difference in my shoulders. This is getting pulled down. Now I'm going to make this even a little bit more, and I'm going to show you an exaggerated form real quick. I'm going to push my hips to the side just a tiny bit. I'm pushing it against my arm, and I'm pushing against it. And now I'm going to add another part. Take your middle finger of your opposite hand, put it on top of your ear, and gently move your head to the side. Now when I say gently, I mean gently. We're not even using the full weight of our arm. You never want to stretch your neck too much. This is a gentle, gentle, gentle stretch. Again, it's not even the full weight of my arm. Now take your hand and pivot it so that your middle finger is on the back corner of your skull. And we're going to take it so that our nose is pointing towards our armpit. Hold for 3 more seconds. Pick up your head slowly. So a nice stretch. I'm just letting go right there. We're going to switch sides. So now I'm going to put the loop through my opposite foot, or take your towel and stand on the towel with your opposite foot. I'm going to pull this tight. Standing up, so now you see how it's pulling this shoulder down. I'm really pulling this tight. As I hold this, again, I'm going to push the hips over to the side. So now I'm getting an even deeper stretch. Taking your opposite hand, taking the middle finger, putting it on top of your ear, pull your head to your side. Again, we're not using very much weight. I'm just pulling it ever so gently, just to deepen the stretch. Take that hand, pivot it so that the middle finger is now at the back corner of the skull. Pull your nose towards your armpit. Again, this is a gentle, gentle, gentle pull. I cannot emphasize that enough. This is ever so gentle. You feel a deep stretch, but we are not strong arming the neck here. Slowly release your hand off your head. Bring your body back. Release the stretch band. Put it off to the side. We are now going to stretch out our arms. So take your arm, pull across. Now as we pull this across, as it comes out to here, take your opposite hand and pull it in closer. So this move helps stretch your delts just a little bit more. We'll be holding this for another 10 seconds. Feeling a nice stretch in the delts. Release that arm. Bring your elbow up. Now when we bring the elbow up, I don't have my elbows like this. It's slightly turned out. I've got my fingertips on top. Then I'm going to pull my elbow over. We're now stretching the triceps. And I'm going to slip my hips over and really roll over to the side. This is going to stretch out my triceps, my lats, my scalenes, and give a nice stretch for my shoulder joint. Slowly come up, release, and let's go ahead and do the other arm. Taking your arm, pulling it across with your other arm, taking and pulling it forward or towards you. Again, feeling that nice stretch in your delts. We're holding this another 8 seconds. We're going to slowly release this. Bring your elbow up. Remember, it's not forward, slightly out to the side. Fingertips on the outside of the elbows. Pull your arm over. We're getting a nice tricep dip or tricep stretch. That's nice. But now let's lean over to the side. Getting that nice stretch along the side of the back, the side of the lats, the scalenes. You can see my shoulder blades sticking out a little bit right there. We'll hold this for another 5 seconds, and then we're going to stretch out the forearms. Slowly come up. Release your arms. Just shake them out a little bit here. Now let's go ahead. We're going to do this thing I call milk the fingers. It's a stretch my husband came up with that I really, really like, and I've used with a lot of my clients. You're going to take your arm straight out in front of you. You're going to hold your finger. You're going to kind of like hold it and pull it, kind of like you're milking a cow. Bring your finger back. Now feel that nice stretch on the back of the forearms. Our fingers are suspended so much, it's crazy. When we do computer work or cell phones, using a mouse for the computers, cooking, almost anything you can think of. The worst is typing, because we're constantly, having our arms or our fingers lifted. Switch to your ring finger, again pulling from the top and bringing it down. This is just a really fantastic way to get the back of the forearm stretched out. And the middle finger. Ring finger. Let's move to the other arm. So, pinky, pulling it back and in. Ring finger. Middle finger. Pointer finger. After we're done with the pointer finger, we're going to stretch the underbelly of the forearm. And then we'll be doing my favorite move. Okay, hands together. Stretching the underbelly. So bringing our hands in our whole hand is in contact, all the joints, bringing it to where it's gonna be bending out. Now I'm going to make it so that the bottom part of the palm of the hand isn't touching, but the top part of my palm is. It's not just my fingers touching, it's my palm as well. Bring that, really feel that nice stretch in the underbelly of the forearm, knowing that this will also help carpal tunnel. Now we're going to move on about 2 seconds to chin tucks. So chin tucks are really, really important. With our heads being down so much looking at devices, the chin tucks help tremendously. I can't even tell you like how great they are. So what we're going to do, how we're going to do this, is you take the chin, you simply tuck it back. This isn't the most attractive move. It's really good for stretching and strengthening the muscles in the vertebrae. And I'm going to show you this from the side because this is important. As you tuck in, I do not want you to bring your head back. That is a no-no. You're going to take your head, look forward. You're just moving the jaw back and forth. And do this 3 more times. Now, what we're going to do, remember, we're gently stretching the neck. We're going to chin tuck in. Put the top of your hand on top of your head. While your chin is engaged, bring it over. We're not using the full weight of the arm. Hold for 5 more seconds. Bring your head up. Release the chin tuck again. And then now stretch the head to the other side. Slowly bring the head up. We're going to do 10 more chin tucks, and then we're going to do a few stretches on the floor. So, again, just bring our chin in. Not the most attractive thing in the world, but this helps so much with headaches, with the spine, and with neck pain. 4 more. All right. There we go. So let's move to the floor. As we move to the floor, we're going to be doing just a couple more stretches that are really beneficial for pain and body movement. Come slowly to the floor, going back into a runner's lunge. Lean forward and move your arm up, same arm as the leg that's back, and back. And hold this another 5 seconds. Lean back so that our hamstring is long. Bring your toe up. Feel a nice stretch on the hamstring. 5 more seconds. Come back up. Put both your hands on the carpet. Switch up the legs. Get a nice runner's lunge going for the back leg to stretch out the hip flexors and psoas. Take that arm, bring it back. And again, I'm stretching up and then over. Putting your hands down on the ground. Now leaning back, letting the hamstring stretch, and bring that toe up. Really, really good for the hamstrings. And hamstrings, if you have tight hamstrings, they can really affect the back. So we really want to make sure these hamstrings are really stretched out. Come forward, slowly. Put both legs underneath you. Sitting back. You do want to make sure, by the way, that when you're on the floor, you have a nice padded surface. I do have a carpet underneath this. So we're in a ball. Come down on your knees. Take your fingers out. Crawl your fingers forward a little bit and rest. Now when I crawl my fingers forward, I'm not coming forward like this. I'm staying down here, crawling my fingers forward. Breathe. Walk your fingers forward again. Breathe. And one more time. Fingers forward. Breathe. Feeling that nice stretch around the shoulder blades. 5 more seconds. We'll sit up. We'll do a nice stretch for the hips. Sitting up, we're going from all fours. The front leg, we're going to take and bend. The back leg is also going to bend. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our chest towards our calf. As we do, the hip on this side, the side we're stretching towards, feel great stretch, both on the inner and the outer hip. It's an amazing stretch. Slowly come up. Take your legs, then forward. Now we're going to bend the opposite leg forward. Take your other leg behind you, like so. And our chest is going to go towards our lower leg. I can tell this hip is more sore for me. It's a little bit harder. In about 3 seconds, we're going to come up. We're going to lower ourselves onto our back. Slowly come up. Now, when we move and change positions from the abdomen to the back, last two, making sure that you're going in a position that's safe for you to move in. Lower your back leg flat, top leg bent. Take your opposite leg over and stretch it back. Your forward hand stretching out, looking back at your hand, and hold for 10 seconds. I'm actually pushing this leg down a little bit as well, not forcing it. I'm not trying to do it in a harsh way, just a little bit of weight. Bringing this knee up, lengthening it out. Opposite leg bend, cross body, putting your hand on the outside of the knee, looking back at your rear hand, and hold. 10 more seconds. Enjoy that stretch. Roll back to center. Bend both of your knees. Now we're going to bring the knees forward and back 5 times in each direction. So we have 3 times left to go. we're going to do another hold. So as this goes to the front, I'm going to take my opposite hand and hold my knee down. Just getting a little bit extra stretch, a little more bang for my buck. Holding it for 5 more seconds. Releasing my hand, switching my knees, putting my hand on the top of the knee, holding it for 10 seconds, and then we will be done with our full body stretch. Releasing the hand, slowly and safely getting up off the floor, remembering to have a good and relaxing day, making sure that you're encompassing all different forms of movement so that you can stay safe and stay pain-free. Have a wonderful day.